You're a free agent. I'm rich. You're a free agent. I'm rich.
We got the same amounts.
And no, but we don't got the same bank account.
Famous to be acting like that.
No, don't play the victim now.
I think we've seen this movie before, and it's a movie that I didn't expect a sequel to. So before we get to the content, we are running a $1,000 giveaway split between 5 subscribers that turn on our notifications for this channel. Now that we get all that out of the way, work! Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Cam Newton has had one of the most unique careers in the NFL. And to be honest, I think it's one that should be respected. We briefly covered his tumultuous career with the Florida Gators in my Swamp Kings preview 2 years ago. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend you take a look at it in anticipation for Netflix's upcoming documentary. But following not getting an opportunity with the Florida Gators, Cam Newton went to Blinn Community College, where he was able to lead his team to a championship and then transferred to Auburn, where he not only took his team to the national championship, but also won the Heisman. That still wasn't enough to really convince teams in the pre-draft process that he was going to be a star in the NFL. I know what you guys might be thinking.
Oh my God, Cam Newton was selected with the #1 overall pick. Mike, what are you thinking?
Well, back then, Cam Newton was kind of perceived as a bit of a consolation prize because originally teams were hoping that Andrew Luck would declare a season early. And Cam Newton was perceived to be a bit more of a project, mainly because he wasn't your traditional drop back pocket QB. And scrambling quarterbacks weren't necessarily established back then. Yes, you had Michael Vick and Donovan McNabb that were starting to break the mold, but it wasn't nearly what it is now. So when Cam Newton was selected with the #1 overall pick and had the rookie season he did, it was considered to be very, very impressive. And on top of that, he was able to win an MVP in 2015. He made it to 3 Pro Bowls, and he appeared in 1 Super Bowl, and unfortunately most people remember him for one particular moment in the Super Bowl. Through it all, he was pivotal in protecting quarterbacks for the future, because whenever players tried to hit Cam Newton, they really tried to hit Cam Newton. And I think that's a huge reason why his career ended so early. He suffered shoulder injuries during the latter part of his career, and after playing for the Carolina Panthers for 9 seasons, they decided to part ways with him. This is a little premature for a quarterback. In 2020, he went to the New England Patriots, and despite Bill Belichick's best efforts, he still kind of looked like a shell of his former self. He wasn't able to make the same throws. He did have the best completion percentage of his career, but the man's shoulder was clearly shot at that point. He would return 1 season later to the Carolina Panthers as they were desperately looking for their next quarterback, and ever since then, he's been out of the NFL. Now, through it all, do I believe Cam Newton deserves to be in the NFL Hall of Fame? I'll be honest, not really. It's nothing against him. I just think it's really hard to get into the NFL Hall of Fame, and you need more than an MVP, a couple of Pro Bowls, and to be a former #1 overall pick to make it into the NFL Hall of Fame. Do I think he's had a very impressive career? Yes. Do I think he's succeeded as a human being? Yeah, most definitely. I mean, through his entire career, he's made $133.5 million. That's more than enough money. If you invest that money wisely, I'm sure you'll live a good life. And he's very respected in the NFL, and for all you know, he might be able to return to the NFL as a backup. People love him. I mean, players in the NFL love him, and I think he was very entertaining to watch in his prime. Why am I bringing all this up? Well, it seems like today's youth don't feel the same way as I do. So a couple of years ago, one of the earlier videos on this YouTube channel featured a clip of a kid disrespecting the living crap out of Cam Newton. Let me know if you guys were rocking with me back then, because if you go back to that video, the way we did content back then is so much different than the way we do it now. But for those of you guys that weren't, check it out.
You're a free agent. You're a free agent. You're a free agent. You about to be pulled.
I'm rich.
You about to be pulled.
I'm rich.
You about to be pulled.
I'm rich.
You're a free agent.
I'm rich.
You're a free agent.
I'm rich. He's a free agent. Where your daddy is? Let me talk to your dad. Let me talk to your dad. Where's your dad?
You're a free agent.
Where's your dad?
You're a free agent.
Talk to your dad.
You're a free agent.
Talk to. Let me. Where's your dad? Where's your pop?
Now, bear in mind, this is a common theme in Cam Newton's defense. People come at him and say,
"Hey, your career sucks."
And in Cam Newton's response, he'll usually say something like,
"Yeah, but I'm rich."
So this kid clearly was just trying to go viral on some social media platform, was just trying to get clout for disrespecting Cam Newton. Bear in mind, this is Cam Newton's own training camp 2 years ago. During this time, Cam Newton was just coming off of his first season with the New England Patriots. His career was definitely on the decline. It was looking like he wasn't going to play in the NFL again. I don't know why a kid would come at this guy so hard at his own training camp, especially because if I was there in Cam Newton's training camp, it's a freaking privilege to be there, learning from an NFL MVP. Hell, learning from anyone that was on an NFL team at some point. You need to achieve a certain level of excellence in order to make it there to begin with. I don't know why he would resort to that to begin with, but I do think it's funny that Cam got into this heated debate with the kid at the time. Now, he did take some time to talk things through with the kid later on.
Nah, ain't no disrespect. You know, if you wanted some attention, I'm gonna give you some attention. The right way, bro. The right way. When do y'all play?
We play tomorrow.
What was y'all record today then?
1-2. No, 2-1.
What did you do? No, I wasn't able to see because y'all was too.
Cameras on me.
All right, bro. What did he do, man? Does he play?
He got speed.
He got speed.
No, he's letting him speed.
Oh.
You gonna see.
Huh?
You gonna see.
Nah, you ain't, don't act shy, nah, bro. Don't act shy.
I'm sitting right here.
I'm asking you. I don't want to see. I couldn't see today.
You gonna watch YouTube. Oh, you watch YouTube? I know you do. You gonna watch
Cafeteria
that
crocs,
shit.
man. No, stop.
What you do?
No, I'm really trying to ask you. Like, I'm trying to see, like, what you.
We do that shit for real, though.
I'm like,
We rep that 215.
205?
215.
215? Okay, cool. Bro. I'm just like, please don't be one-dimensional. Like you said something to me, then I go, I'm really trying to talk to you. I'm not trying to like crack no jokes. I'm just really trying to ask a simple question. I'm sorry. It's your fault while everybody's looking, but I'm really just trying to ask a question. But you never said what you did. You said you gonna see.
At the end of the day, right?
Nah, coach, it's no disrespect.
No,
I
I
promise you
get
it's no
it. I
disrespect.
get that. I get that. But I'm just a grown man. Right? This is the coach.
Coach, we squashed it. We good. I was literally. I
I love that. I love that.
So this happened 2 years ago, and to be honest, man, I would probably say the same thing if I was in Cam Newton's position. Because if you want to play this game about who had the best career or who had a better career than someone else, you're never going to win. People will always bring up your failures. And even if Cam Newton was as successful as Tom Brady, what do Tom Brady haters typically say? They call him a system QB. People say the same thing about Patrick Mahomes. They call him a system QB, which I think is one of the silliest arguments of all time, might I add. You could always find some type of BS to say about each and every player to hate on him. And of course, this is just a little kid who believes that each and every athlete is just focused on whether or not they won many Super Bowls or how many MVPs they have, or the fact that they're still in the league at the age of 30. Now, the reason I'm bringing all this up is the first time, I gotta admit, Cam Newton was very dignified. And he actually seemed like he was trying to help the young man out despite this kid being very disrespectful. This happened to Cam Newton once again 2 years later. Now, of course, the circumstances are significantly different for Cam this time. This time, Cam Newton has been out of the league for a little bit. This time, it looks like he might not get back into the league. I hope I'm wrong. Maybe he makes it back as a backup for the Washington, whatever the hell they're gonna call themselves, because they're gonna rebrand from the Commanders. You know, maybe just be there for Ron Rivera, because Ron Rivera has love for Cam Newton, maybe. I'm not necessarily sure. The point being that Cam Newton wasn't in the NFL for the 2022 season. And now, once again, Cam Newton goes to war with another kid. And the response he has is very familiar and similar, but the reaction at the end is ridiculous. Watch.
No, you met me.
Yes.
I met you.
When? Tell me about him. Show me a picture. Show me a picture.
I got an autograph. How many rings you got? 9. I got a question.
Oh, shit.
We got the same amount.
No, but we don't got the same bank account.
Oh, we famous to be acting like that.
No, don't play the victim now.
Bro, this is just some guy that was trying to get a gotcha moment on Cam Newton. But to catch Cam Newton dancing the way he did afterwards, you know what it implicates, bro. I'm not gonna spell it out for you. It's just hilarious. On one hand, I do believe whenever you have the opportunity to be in the presence of a former NFL MVP, then you should try to show him some love and some respect. But it also seems like Cam Newton is the type of individual that you could troll in this manner. And despite you trolling him in this manner, he'll have a smile on his face and troll you back. And it seems like he doesn't take it so seriously because at the end of the day, these are just kids. But one of my favorite comments on this is, why is Quinn Ewers fighting with Cam? The kid does look like Quinn Ewers a little bit. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I felt like it was a funny little story to get you guys as we're waiting for the NFL season to begin. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.